Oh, that is hot. Hi, and welcome to Transforming Andrew. As you can see, this video is starting off in a little bit of a different way. And that's because I, like many of you out there, are very pressed for time, especially on a Saturday morning. Lots of things to do. I've just been to boot camp and I have to take the kids to rugby tots. So I like to try to get my morning ablutions out of the way. So this video though is a little bit about food composition, something we talked about briefly, and I'm going to keep it very, very, very simple in terms of what I do when I try to manage my diet. When I say diet, I'm not really doing hardcore dieting. I'm talking as an extension of our logging video last week. Really just, and I'll just tell you why. It's very simple. If you eat a lot of sugars, processed flours, wheat, things like that, what you'll notice from your logging experience, pardon me, the steam, what you'll notice from your logging experience is that those foods that contain a lot of those things are actually quite high in calories. So if you're trying to keep to your BMR that we talked about last week, and possibly your BMI if you're tracking that, you'll notice that your resting calories, to reach your resting calories, if you're eating biscuits and hot chocolates and snacks and sweets, you'll hit that very quickly. And if you're like me, you'll feel very empty because there's not much substance to those foods. So just to give you an example, a Jaffa cake might have the same amount of calories as a chicken breast. So if you boil a chicken breast, and I do suggest you try boiling it, it's actually a really nice way of preparing the meat, you'll find a chicken breast will fill you up. You might not even be able to manage a whole chicken breast for a meal, whereas the Jaffa cake, I could probably manage 6 in one sitting easily, maybe even a whole carton. So food composition, really, you have your various food groups and there's food triangles, all sorts of things that people will tell you about, but really you have your fats, proteins and carbohydrates. Yeah? Try to lay off the carbohydrates, try to increase your proteins, and in doing so you'll probably reduce your fats. Okay? So we know what things we should be eating, we know which things we shouldn't be. So if you're trying to increase your protein by lowering your carbohydrates and fats, I think you will probably end up with a lot of meals that are, a nice piece of meat, a nice piece of fish, and some veggies on the side. And I know it sounds boring, but really you can spice that up any way you want. Create some sauces, get some herbs, get some spices, just make something interesting. Frankly, if you find the food boring, I think you can probably suffer to live a week or two eating that way, boring way. What you'll find is when you look at the scales, if you're going for a calorie deficit, once you see that weight loss dropping, you'll disassociate your interest with food in a certain way too. If you like to comfort eat, for example, or stress eat, if you find those foods are boring, you might start laying off them when you're in those times of stress. And then once you start focusing, say, on your weight loss and exercise, then food will become secondary in your life, and you won't obsess about it so much. I find myself personally, I go through cravings. If I eat a lot of sugars and a lot of processed flours, wheats, those sorts of things, processed carbohydrates, I just crave them. If I have them in the morning, I'll want them all day. As soon as I have them, I'll just want to keep eating them over and over. So for me, really, they're a trigger, and I really just try to force myself to lay off them. So try that yourself, see how you go. Maybe set yourself a protein target and not worry about the other things. And I think you'll probably find whilst you're trying to get the so many grams of protein into you every day, if you say aim for 30 grams of protein a day, you'll probably find that once you've achieved that, you won't really be hungry for those carbs and sugars. So please subscribe, leave comments in the bottom, let me know how you get on with that. Just a quick update. My weight is a little bit up and down. Today, this is just after boot camp, it weighed a little bit high, but that's because I had breakfast and a lot of water. Once you actually look at, if you zoom out on the graph of the weight logging, you'll notice these day-to-day deviations that could be plus or minus 1.5 kilos, really, just depending on how much hydration you have throughout the day or how many salts you've been eating. If you've been eating some salty foods, so don't worry too much about that. Just focus on the long run. See how you are after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and if you are trying to lose weight or even gain it, you'll see the graph will be adapting. As long as you're sticking to that BMR deficit, you'll see it will be reacting. Don't lose heart, you'll get there. Thanks for watching. Time to face the day.